Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning, boys. I hope you're still doing fine. So we are already in week 14, and for today's topic, we'll be doing note taking and summary. Now, for my year 7 students, this will be a new topic for you, and for my year 8 students, this is not a new topic for you. So hopefully, this will be a good recap. Okay, so as usual, before we start the lesson, I want you to grab your notebook or a piece of paper and a pen and try your best to make notes, okay? Because this can be a heavy topic if you don't pay attention. So I really hope for your cooperation in this video, okay? Right, so let's start. Okay, so what is a summary? So a summary is a condensed version of an original text. So condensed means when something is made more concise, okay, and made more specific. So when you are summarizing, you're just basically reducing the text into its main points, okay? So the content of a summary should only consist of main points, and these main points should be paraphrased from the original. So paraphrase means you turn the sentences into your own words, and there should not be examples included, and it should be written in one paragraph only. Okay. So in Malay, we call this ringkasan, which I'm sure in your Malay subject you also do this as well. And so in paper 2, the summary question has two parts, okay, which is the note taking and the summary writing. Okay, so the note taking is an essential part of the question. Okay, it helps you to do the summary. So let's recap some new words here. So condense is when something is made more concise, tepat, and specific, khusus. Okay, so basically it's just a shorter and more specific version of the original. Okay, and paraphrase means to express a sentence in a different way but retaining the same meaning. Okay, so there are few steps to writing a summary properly. Okay, so first you need to read and understand the original text. If you don't understand, you will be having a hard time to do the rest. Okay, and then you take note of the main points. After you take notes of the main points, you will write them on the blank space provided. Okay, once you get the once you get the main points, you will paraphrase the points. Okay, so bear in mind when you take notes, you don't have to paraphrase it yet. You only paraphrase it when you write the summary. Okay, so after you paraphrase it, you write the summary, and then Mr. Bean will give you a thumbs up if you do the steps. Okay, so this is the proper steps that you can follow to write the summary. Okay, you might be wondering, how do we paraphrase? So to recap, paraphrasing is just expressing a sentence in a different way but different meaning. But same meaning. So basically you're just turning the sentence into your own words, okay? So there are three different strategies that you can do to paraphrase, okay? The first one is to use synonyms, or in Malay this is called kata seerti, okay? So for example, the word talk, T-A-L-K, the synonym for that word would be speak, S-P-E-A-K. So you can use that, okay? Use synonyms to paraphrase. And then you can also change active sentences to passive or vice versa, okay? So passive to active. So I understand that this might be new to you, but bear in mind that I will explain this later, okay? And the third strategies that you can use is to change verbs into nouns or vice versa, nouns into verbs. Okay, I will explain this also in the following slides. Okay, let's move on to the strategies. Okay, so the first one, using synonyms. So let's take a look at this sentence. So malls are great places to shop. So there are a couple of words here that you can change. Okay, so I will pick the word great. So I can change the word great into excellent. Okay, these are the synonyms. So malls are excellent places to shop. Now there is another word that you can change, which is to shop. So I can change that into purchasing items. So I can also combine those two words into one. So malls are excellent places for purchasing items. If you do this, this is a great job. Okay? If you do that, you will gain more marks, inshallah. Okay? Now, I have to stress that when you write synonyms, be careful which synonym you use. Okay? So, for example, the word great also has the synonym magnificent, but it's not really making sense. Okay, so let's look at the sentence. So malls are magnificent places to procure. Magnificent is the synonym for great, but it doesn't fit in the sentence. Okay, so be careful. When you choose your synonym, make sure it suits the sentence. It suits the context. Okay, same thing with procure. It's a synonym for shop, okay, to shop, but it just doesn't fit. Okay, so just stick to purchasing items, which is much more suitable. Okay, the second strategy, which is changing active sentences to passive or changing passive to active. Right, so I want you to pay attention to this. Okay, so active sentences is when the subject is doing the action, and passive sentence is when the action is received by the subject. Okay, so for example, sorry, in Malay we call this ayat songsang. I'm not sure if you've done this, but you can Google this if you want to. Okay, so for example, Janet watches television. This is an active sentence because the subject is doing the action. Janet is the subject and she is watching the television. Now, if I change this into passive, television will be at the front and Janet will be at the back. So the sentence will be, the television is being watched by Janet. Okay, so the action is received by the subject. Okay, let's do more examples so that you understand more. Okay, let's look at the sentences. So the first one, monkeys adore bananas. This is an active sentence. So if we are to turn it into a passive sentence, let's just switch it up. Okay, so bananas to the front, monkeys to the back. So it becomes, bananas are adored by monkeys. Simple, right? Okay, how about the second one? The cashier counted the money. So we change that into passive. So money to the front and cashier to the back. So becomes, the money was counted by the cashier. Okay, the last one. The dog chased the squirrel. So let's change this. The squirrel to the front, dog to the back becomes, the squirrel was chased by the dog. I hope the examples made it clear for you. Okay, the third strategy, changing verbs to nouns or nouns to verb. So first, let's recap. What are nouns and verbs? We have studied this early in the year. Okay, so in simple words, noun can be anything. It can be your chair, your table, sadness, happiness, anger, hatred. Okay, and verbs are actions. Kata, kerja. so let's take a look at this sentence. She analyzed the blood stain on the clothes. So the word in blue there, analyze, is a verb. So how can we change this into a noun? So this is the way I did it. So she did an analysis on the blood stains on the clothes. So I changed analyze to analysis. There are a few other examples of this that you can do. Okay. Okay. Let me give you an example. So the verb apply, you can change it into application, which is a noun. Okay. Um, what else? So you can also say organization into organize, or vice versa, organize into organization. Okay. So I want you to make use of your internet. Okay, so I want you to Google this so that you increase your vocabulary. Okay, so you understand more about this strategy. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this text. Now, I want you to pause this video and spend a minute or two to read the text. This is a real text from SPE, Pasya paper. So I want you to try to understand. Okay, and then we'll move on. Right, so if you have read the text, let's move on. So part 1 of the question should be the note-taking part. So the question, okay, wants you to list out the ways to make people feel happy. Now, the note-taking part of the question is usually worth 6 points. So naturally, you would need to find six main points. Okay. Um, if you found more than 6, then you just need to choose 6 of them. Okay, let's say if you found 7, just choose 6. If you found 8, choose 6. Okay, so now I want you to pause this video again, and I want you to do that now. I want you to take out the main points, search for 6 points on how on the ways to make people happy. Okay. Okay, so these are the answers. I hope you get the same, or majority of them are the same as me. So what do we do next? Once we found the main points, what was the next step? Of course, we put them into the space provided. But for this lesson, we just skip that. We go straight to the paraphrase. Now, I won't show you how to paraphrase because I've already showed you the example. Because if I show you, this video will be an hour long. Okay, so I wrote the summary straight away. Okay, so you can take another minute to read this. See, I want you to analyze and observe how I change the points, how I paraphrase the points, what strategies do I use, and how I kept everything still the same. Okay, the content is still the same. All right. Okay, I want you to do that now. Okay, now once you've read it, okay, let's check our summary checklist. Okay, so let's take contain only main points. Okay, so the summary only contain main points, and I also did paraphrase the points. Okay, and then I did not include examples, and lastly I only wrote it in one paragraph. Okay, so I checked off all the necessary criteria of a summary. Okay, so when you're writing a summary, I hope you remember this checklist in mind. Okay, now if you are confused with the strategies, don't worry. Okay, use the ones that you're comfortable with. Okay, the easiest one that you can use is the synonym strategy. Okay, so the way for you to be better at using synonym is just to read a lot. Doesn't have to be books. You can read comics, articles online, basically anything. Okay, the more you read, the more you increase your vocabulary, the more synonyms that you know. Okay, so start with synonyms, and then if you're comfortable, if you're confident enough, you move on to the other strategies. Okay, practice with these strategies, and in the long run, you will be comfortable in writing summary, and it will be like a no-brainer for you. Okay, now as for your task in your home pack learning, I want you to search for the summary exercise title running. Okay, it's also a past year paper, and I want you to do that. Okay, same goes to my year 8 students. You also need to do running and one more exercise called hiking safety tips. Okay, so I want you, for my year 8 students, I want you to do running and hiking safety tips. All right, and I want you to summarize both of those texts using the strategies that I've shown you today. Okay, so I know today's topic is a little bit heavy, but you may rewind this video as much as you want to and watch until you understand. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson. Good luck in your writing in your summary. All the best, and I will see you in the next topic. Okay, goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.